What's going on, you guys? This is Cooked Vegetables back in here with another podcast for y'all. How's everybody doing, man? I hope you're doing absolutely amazing, fantastic, wherever you are in the world. The title of today's podcast, actually, today we don't actually have a podcast. We've got a short story for y'all. So, the title of today's short story is called Alistairs Redemption. Alistair, 32, just got out of a radioactively toxic relationship with a borderline personality disordered woman called Susan. Before Alistair got entangled with Susan, he had a pretty decent career as an accountant, making okay money and living a, quote, normal life. But our friend had picked up the habit of masturbating at least 5 times a week since the age of 16. Unbeknownst to him, this seemingly harmless habit had gradually weakened him over the years, causing him to be addicted to multiple stimulants: coffee, alcohol, shit foods, loose women, and a few other vices, which set him up for his ill-fated relationship with Susan that ended in absolute disaster. In the aftermath of his relationship with Susan, Alistair found himself at an all-time low. He couldn't think straight, couldn't sleep through the night. His central nervous system was taking the piss, so his adrenals, thyroid, and digestive systems were all out of balance. At this point, he was medicating his severe depression with fast food binges and excessive use of pornography. Poor Alistair had pretty much given up until he stumbled on a no-fap video while absent-mindedly browsing YouTube on a grey Sunday morning. Usually, Alistair would have dismissed the claims in the video as stupid bro science. But the beauty of the all-time low at which he now found himself was that it gave him a newfound humility and the open mind of a child again. He thought to himself, well, what else do I have to lose at this point? So he decided to abstain for 2 weeks. After the first week of abstinence, he was stunned to find that people showed him a new level of respect when he was out and about. Women seemed to sheepishly follow him around, hoping he would start a conversation with them. There's no way this is actually happening, he thought to himself. The difference was so clear because women had never acted that way around him. Like, ever. Alistair observed all the new attention but acted on none of it. Instead, he went home and kept researching this new odd phenomenon he had just experienced. After a while down the YouTube and Reddit rabbit holes, he came upon the practice of semen retention. At this point, Alistair is fired up and motivated to keep going because nothing he had ever tried in the past from a personal development standpoint had ever given such undeniable results. So he starts a new semen retention streak and notices a bunch of benefits after just 1 month. More energy, increased influence with the social group, long-forgotten pleasant memories start coming back to him, new job opportunities start popping up out of the blue. Women who had shunned him in the past were now randomly sliding in his DMs to his bemusement. Although all these benefits are giving Alistair hope, he is still suffering the effects of his heartbreak, and a few weeks later he relapses with a woman he had been talking with in a moment of weakness. Immediately after the release, he feels shame. He had just been tricked again by his sexual desires, and although this irks him, he knows deep down that he has found the right path to follow, so he vows to recommit deeply to this as a lifelong practice. A few months later, Alistair is now flying. He's learned that semen retention on its own, while an excellent tool and necessary for masculine development, is not sufficient. He now incorporates the following modalities into his daily routine in addition to strict celibacy to supplement his growth and keep him grounded. 1. 2 hours of meditation. 2. A clean diet consisting of mainly organic vegetables, grass-fed and wild-caught meats or fish, natural starches, healthy fats, and all of those things in very simple combinations. 3. 2 minutes of ice-cold water at the end of his daily showers. 4. Strength training 3 times a week. 5. Reading historical religious texts like the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. 1 year later, and after enduring some terrible healing reactions, nightmares, strange illnesses, bouts of unbelievable sadness, but still soldiering on, Alistair is now basically unrecognizable. He now has an unmistakable sparkle in his eyes. His health is robust. He now exudes manly confidence that's beautifully meshed with humility and kindness. He gets more job opportunities than he can possibly accept. His societal influence and impact have grown substantially. Even his facial features and structure change slightly, making him more handsome, with women of all ages and sizes showing romantic interest in him. In short, he has now got all the materialistic things he'd always wanted but could never seem to get while he was mired in sex addiction. Now, though, for some reason, these benefits don't really excite him as much because he has found an even deeper bliss that very few will ever know. He has found the El Dorado of the mind, the philosopher's stone, the Holy Grail. His firm establishment in the art of celibacy has yielded a gloriously blissful connection with his divine creator. In this state, very few women, cars, job titles really have any appeal to him. He can now basically take it or leave it, which ironically makes the material things chase him even more. He has now reached the state where he can look back and actually be grateful to Susan for the disastrous relationship which precipitated his rude awakening and forced him to follow this path. He has now veritably become an aspirant to true manhood. May we all follow in the footsteps of Alistairs' virtuous cycle. Till next time, brothers, Godspeed and remain blessed. Brother Cooked.